What's up, everybody? Clint Esposito here with the Clint Esposito Show. I don't know. I think it's number 4. I'm doing different numbering now. Like I said before, Clint Esposito Show and the Clint Files will be two different things. This is basically a show. I make fun of random stuff, and the Clint Files is more like have a in-depth conversation about microdosing or injury rehab or something like that. This podcast is brought to you by the show, whatever you want to call it, brought to you by HeroSoapCompany.com. You can get paraben, chemical-free soap made in the United States. Company is owned by an Air Force veteran. Percentage of the proceeds go to veteran charities and first responder charities. And your first order will actually be matched and sent to deployed military members. So isn't that cool? Also, cryofitsport.com. They're compression sleeves that have a pocket for a little ice pack. So you can actually work out with the ice packs on. No big deal. So if you go to cryofitsport.com, you can get 10% off by using the code Esposito10. That's it. Let's get this party started. We're going to start with headlines. Headlines. Here it is. Misinformation dropped 73% the week after Twitter banned President Trump and key allies, according to research firm Signal Labs. I bet you Signal Labs is bipartisan. I guarantee you they're fair across the board. I think they wrote the title wrong. I think the title should be we were able to censor 73% of information we didn't want to get out there after we banned Trump and got rid of like 500,000 conservative patriots, QAnons, whatever the hell you want to call it, off of Twitter. That's what they should have said. But you know how that goes. All right, here we go. Oh, let me pull this up. No, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Okay. Los Angeles County, known for strict lockdowns, hits 1 million COVID cases. That's all I wanted. This is from the New York Post, which I think is conservative, so you know that it's all lies. But I think that Los Angeles does have strict lockdowns, and they've hit 1 million cases, so I don't know, it might not be that far off. The funny thing is that it says 1 million cases, and then these guys are moving dead people into a container, which is different than cases. No? I don't know. All right, let's go to our next headline here. This is by Fox. I know, half you guys hate it already. You're like, oh, it's Fox. Should be off the air because I love censorship. Sorry. New Jersey expands COVID-19 vaccine to smokers, but teachers and other workers kept waiting. I mean, because that makes perfect sense, right? We, in America, love to reward people for shitty behavior. You have put yourself at risk by smoking cigarettes. And now you get the vaccine first. I think that they should give the vaccine first to obese people. If you're fat, you get the thing first. Watch how many people are claiming they're fat all of a sudden. Everybody's been like, I'm healthy. I'm not fat. I'm healthy. Wait until they're like, obese people get the thing first. They're like, I'm obese. Check me out. I'm definitely obese. Definitely. All right, here we go. It's going to load eventually. CNN politics. Twitter temporarily suspends Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene for election misinformation. Do we know that there was no voter fraud? Do we know this? Because that would have to be misinformation, right? If we absolutely knew. It does seem suspicious, is all I'm saying. So maybe we're just a tyrannical society that is banning people from platforms because we don't like what they say. But that can't be. That cannot be. All right, let's move on. Here we go, people. Supercross is back. Supercross 2021. And like we talked about last week, Justin Barcia. I told you guys, you guys thought it was just some kind of publicity stunt by Gas that Barcia won A1. But I said last week when I did this that they took visualizing to a whole nother level. That's all I'm going to say. They went as far as to go into the stadium and pretend that they won the race. I can tell you that a lot of people were doing mental preparation prior to this race, and none of them did that. Coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I don't know. So Gas on their very first race in American Moto Supercross. I don't think anybody's raced any in motocross or anything over here, even like privateer guys. So the very first race, 450, Gas in Supercross, wins the effing thing. That's pretty cool. Ken Roczen got second. And again, I was talking about injuries and Roczen, and that I really thought that he took the injury in stride and the rebuilding in stride, and was in a really good place this year as long as he could keep the health issues down, which I would imagine that between American Honda and Red Bull, he's got some pretty top-notch doctors, nutritionalists, all that type of stuff figuring it out. So I would imagine, geez, they would have to have as good a shot at, fixing it as anybody else. And also, I started to read a sentence, but my take on the race as far as Roczen's concerned, the doubters and everything, I think Roczen looked amazing. I think he was the fastest one out there. It seemed like he could catch Barcia at will. But, so you're like, why didn't he just win? Well, one, do you want to try and force a pass around Barcia at any time in the season? Two, there was no need, especially first race. Points, everybody's even in points. Right now he's in second. He's way ahead of a bunch of people that were considered contenders. Webb, Tomac. And like I said, you could get in there with Barcia, try to get by him, and then he takes you out, and now you've gotten a sixth or something instead of getting a second. So I think that, like I said, he looked the fastest to me. The guy looks even better on a bike now than he ever did before, if that's possible. But I think he does. Maybe he's really gelling with the bike, just like Barcia. But I think he made the right move by letting Barcia go and just, taking the second, saving the points. Because historically, Barcia is not going to be doing this every round. I saw a stat that he has 6 wins now. 3 of them are at openers in the 450 class, which seems ridiculous because he's been in the 450 class for a long time. But I guess when he first moved up, you had he kind of had some bad luck. So, all right. And then the 250s, Christian Craig wins the 250 race handily. Now, in my predictions, I knew he'd be good race to race. I even thought I didn't say he was going to win the first one, but I knew, like he's a good beginning of the year type of guy. He's good at getting himself into position to win the championship and then not so good at carrying through. He does seem maybe like he's got that. He seems, and it's only been one race, so what the hell do I know yet? But he seems really mentally strong right now. He seems hungry. He seems like he's in a good place. So um, I think it's really going to. Obviously, he has the speed. I think it's going to come down to if the points battle starts getting tight, which Forkner got second. So that's his biggest concern in that well, Forkner and Jet. But I would say Forkner is really the concern, more so than Jet. Um, because I would have to say Faulkner's in a similar position to Craig as far as um, he needs to win the championship this year. I think both those guys last year in the class. So if they want to get a 250 championship before moving up, both of them have to make it happen right now. I would say I think that's worse for Forkner because he's a little bit antsy anyway. He gets antsy and then makes a mistake, tries to force moves. So I would say that Christian, being a veteran as well, super prepared, super confident, needs to get it done this year. But he's like never been in the position to actually, like, he has, like I said in the beginning of the year, he'll get himself in the position, then he falls apart kind of once the points get close. Forkner, on the other hand, keeps himself in position and then like just screws up enough that he can't win the stuff. But I mean, either way, I think both of them come down to the end of the year. Those guys are close in points. It looks like it's going to be, there may be some rubbing, maybe some broken plastics. I will say this about Jet. He surprised me. He didn't look like he was just trying to go for the win. He looked like he was really calm and just rode his own race the whole time, which is why he probably wasn't lightning fast or super impressive. But I think to ride as consistent and solid as he does with these guys, especially like if he can, he has the speed. So if he can tone it down and be consistent, uh, once that becomes normal, being consistent and riding relaxed, the pace will start